For the past 1,000 years, gargoyles have amused or even scared visitors to Britain's Gothic buildings. Gargoyles have humble origins. They began as a way of draining water, literally gargling it, as their name suggests, from churches and cathedrals. But they soon evolved from being ornamental drain pipes into less functional objects. They took on the name of grotesques, as they morphed into all manner of strange shapes and sizes. I love gargoyles with their gurning, grinning, screaming faces. I think they represent the very heart of the British folk art tradition, and it's an unofficial tradition. There they are, this great unruly mob, clamouring at the edges, on the margin, never at the centre. But perhaps the most extraordinary thing about gargoyles is that, for all their long history, no one actually knows what they really mean. The earliest piece of writing about gargoyles and grotesques, by St. Bernard in the 12th century, shows that even medieval people were puzzled by these mysterious creatures. "What are these fantastic monsters?" he moaned. "What is the meaning of these unclean monkeys, these strange savage lions and monsters?" Were these fierce creatures meant to keep the church safe from harm, to scare away evil spirits and demons? Or were they themselves meant to represent devils, the torments of hell? Or could they simply have been the medieval stonemason's in-joke, his way of relaxing from the endless solemnity of carving saints? The truth is that nobody knows, and the gargoyles, they're keeping stum. Westminster Abbey recently unveiled these vivid new gargoyles and grotesques for its freshly restored chapter house. Alongside the usual array of screaming creatures, English Heritage, in charge of the restoration, also commissioned a series of portrait gargoyles showing the faces of people who actually worked on this new Abbey project. I swear that I saw a bloke up there who looks just like you.
Yeah, it has been rumoured. Yes, that is indeed me. It's a great honour.
You've actually got a function. You're helping the cathedral to shed water.
I'm shedding the weather, yes. I will be balding at an accelerating rate.
Whose idea was it that you'd have your own faces up on the Abbey?
There is a tradition within the Abbey of creating up-to-date modern sculpture in restorations, and we were quite taken aback at first, and then we thought, heck, it's in the spirit, and why not?
I think if I'd been a gargoyle up there, I would have asked for an umbrella. Couldn't they have given you a little stone umbrella?
A hat. Why did I not wear a hat?
We tend to see gargoyles and grotesques as being rather cute and winsome today. These little statues are top sellers in Westminster Abbey's shop. It's got toothache, that one. And gargoyles have even received the Disney treatment.
Oh, man! I thought he'd never leave. I'll be spitting feathers for a week.
Well, that's what you get for sleeping with your mouth open.
But masons today are still creating gargoyles and grotesques every bit as bizarre and unsettling as those from the Middle Ages, as you can see in South London's City and Guilds Art School. These sculptors are presently working on their biggest project yet, new grotesques to decorate Windsor Castle. Describe for me what kind of things you're trying to create.
Right, well, one of the pieces we've done was triggered by the sort of genetic engineering of a human ear grafted to a mouse. You know,
so it's a sort of 21st century nightmare cast in the form of a medieval grotesque.
Yes.
It strikes me that the gargoyle, in a sense, is the one form that's never gone out of fashion in British art. You know, that we've always had gargoyles or baboonries or perhaps satires, Hogarth cartoons, even now today, and you can open the paper and you'll see something that might be a cartoon, but effectively it's a gargoyle.
Yes, I mean, it's the most accessible motif in architecture, really. And it is, I think, because the carvers have always had an element of creative freedom, which is denied to them. I mean, if you're doing a tracery window, it's a very, very difficult and rigorous discipline to make the whole thing work structurally. Whereas, you know, if you let loose on a grotesque, you really can have fun, and I mean, we do.
And Alan also had a little surprise for me.
Here's one we're currently working on that we prepared earlier.
You are evil. That's appalling.
Basically, it's yourself as a grotesque.
Thank you. What? He smiles, the sphinx-like smile of the critic, but he actually talks out of his arse. That is the caption to the picture. I'm lost for words. That's awful. See, the really sad thing, Alan, is that I think that face looks more like me than that face.